The Coaching Hour with Boitumelo on Zoe Live Radio. www.zoeliveradio.co.za.
Good evening. It's a Tuesday night. It's our date nights. It's the Coaching Hour with Boitumelo. In this show, we motivate people. We build people who transform societies. We don't do that alone. We do it with the knowledge, the know-how of our excellent coaches, qualified coaches, experienced coaches who bring you all the best methods, all the best solutions you can find on earth. And, in the show, these solutions are found for free. You don't have to pay for the coaching, but if you should contact any of my coaches outside the show, oh my goodness, you are going to part with good money. But it is because they are good, they are qualified, they love what they're doing, they're passionate about what they're doing. So I am confident that your money will not actually be going to the drain, but you are actually going to grow and become a better person. This week I've got a wonderful coach with us. As I said last week, it's a series that we are doing. It's a 4-part series, and we're still continuing with Coach Sheila Baloyi, and we're having another session this week and next week. It's the big week. It's the big one. We will be having our visitors, guest speakers that Coach Sheila is going to bring for us. We will be inviting you to join in onto our Zoom meeting, and then we can have an interactive session. I look forward to next week, and I really, really hope that you will check our Facebook page. We will then put up on Zoe Live Radio on Facebook. We will put up posters to inform you of the date, the time, and when to join. And the link will also be sent on Facebook. Please catch up with us on Facebook as well as Instagram at Zoe Live. I will also be using my personal account, Boitumelo. Please check out the detail, and the Coach Sheila will also update on her Facebook page and her LinkedIn, as well as the Instagram page. So check out for that interactive session and the link that we will be using for that interactive session. Coach Sheila, welcome. Let me not take too much time while you are waiting. Welcome.
Thank you, Coach Boitumelo, for having me. Hello to the listeners out there. It's always a pleasure to come back and share all my insights and everything else that I've learned, everything that I've experienced, some of the things that my clients are actually going through that is becoming now enough information for us to be able to share and to help other people grow their businesses as well.
Coach. So we look forward to hearing from you, because we know now that you are teaching about things that you have experienced, your business has experienced, and you have actually taken somebody or a company by the hand, and you have directed them to a point where they have seen the fruits of paying for your coaching sessions. I also just want to pass a message of condolences to Dr. Mohuera, Bishop Lawrence Mohuera, who passed away last week Friday. Dr. Mohuera was, a very close acquaintance of mine, a father to me, somebody that mentored me. He picked me up at the lowest points of my life. And brought me in, close to him and close to his family as I was going through difficult times in my youth. And he has managed to love each and every one of us, in the church as his own. I don't know how he did it, but, all of us are crying, at this point, and we all talk about him as my father, and that's how we have experienced him, a man with a big heart to accommodate his own family, to accommodate me, to accommodate other people. And most importantly, this is somebody that used to be a radio presenter here on Zoe Live Radio. He used to be on so many other broadcast stations outside there, public broadcasters. He started his career actually of broadcasting in SABC. I tell you, this is now the early 70s. When did SABC start? 70s, late 60s? He was actually in the first batch of black people that actually joined the SABC, SABC 2 at that time. And, he was broadcasting Mahlasedi Boitumelo. And, there are some snippets. Yes, Coach. Snippets and videos of him on Mahlasedi Boitumelo that SABC 2 does broadcast sometimes. I hope that, the SABC will actually give him airtime and really honor him. He's a man that has contributed a lot to the broadcast world, to the church. He worked as a chaplain for the SNDF, South African Defence Force. He was, my mentor. He has a doctorate already, and he had already enrolled for a second doctorate. So he was actually saying, come, let's do it together. We will mentor each other, we'll help one another. So he was going to do this PhD with me, but now I'm on my own. But I just want to say to his family, Mokhwera family, that I love them so much, and now that he's gone, they are not going to be alone. I promise that we will be there to support them. We'll be there with them as they plan this big funeral. It's going to be a big funeral. He worked in the US for a very long time, worked in the US as a preacher, employed by the church, the Miracle Rock Baptist Church. He lived in the US, Chicago, to be precise, Chicago, and he was a preacher there. He's a man of many credentials. I loved him to bits. We will do a proper tribute for him next week, but I just wanted to pass the message that his memorial service will be at the Miracle Rock of Ages Church in Lotus Gardens, Pretoria West, on Thursday, and his funeral will be on a Friday, as I have been informed by his eldest daughter, Naomi. She also was a presenter here at Zoe Live Radio. So that is the message and the tribute that I wanted to pass to Dr. Lawrence Mokhwera, who is a bishop, the bishop of Miracle Rock of Ages Baptist. Robala Kakagiso, Muruti, our father, our dad, our mentor, our teacher. His famous words was always Mohau Wajeso Kekweza Ekakam. Whenever he would say those words crying, because he has experienced the grace of God. And I know that heaven has gained an angel, a precious angel, and I know he will always be looking out for us. What are we talking about this evening?
So, Coach, look, definitely I must say, condolences to the family and to you, because normally your smile really, really energizes me, and I can really see how deep, this has really touched your heart. I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible so that you can really take the time to mourn and to grieve and to support, the family as well. I must really say, what a beautiful tribute that you've just started sharing, and I know that you're going to be sharing more and more. People like Muruti Yanung, Bishop rather, it's people that we always look up to, and now that they're going back home, we can only learn from everything else that they taught, and then, just try and really move on from there. It sounds like a life well lived. I would like just to take just a few seconds to say a short prayer, just so we can just carry on and definitely acknowledge this moment, because it is a moment that we cannot really move past, So
Absolutely,
let me just quickly say a short prayer. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and may the perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace. Amen. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and may the perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace. Amen. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and may the perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace. Amen. Father, console and comfort the family, and be with us as we continue his legacy. We thank you for a beautiful gift of love that you have bestowed upon him and in our lives and in our lifetime. As he comes back home, may you receive him with glory and with all acclamation and praise. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for the gift of life that you have already given and now that you are taking home. May his soul continuously and eternally rest in peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Coach.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is the reality of our time.
Yeah.
Today we speak, tomorrow we crying together.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing this moment with me. Without not wasting any time further, let's just quickly get on today's session.
Okay.
So over the past 3 sessions that we've had, we were talking about how to launch your business online and what it takes to really run a business online, what other parties you really need to really run a business online, right? Today we are talking just about the bigger portion. Look, it can take us 12 months. For me, it's a series of a coaching program that I take everyone that works with me. If it's on an individual basis, if I'm working with someone one-on-one, I'll take them through an 8-week program. If I'm working with a group, it'll be a bit longer. I'm currently completing a group coaching program, which ran now for the past 6 months. We started in the middle of the year, so we're almost about to conclude, So it is the process. These sessions have been so amazing, and thank you for the feedback that we are currently receiving. Let's carry the conversation forward. So we're talking about, that alignment between sales and marketing, and we're trying to put the pieces together. What exactly is the marketing and what is the sales a portion of this online business building, right? Yeah. So, Coach, you and I play golf, and for all the golfers out there, between marketing and sales, so we always say the marketing is the long game, right? So, and then the sales will be like that. That short period. That short game, right? The putt. This is the putt. In golf, marketing will be the long game, and sales will definitely be the putt. Okay. The putting putt. So that's what it is. If your marketing is correct, it's done amazingly clear. It positions you to your ideal clients. It makes sales a lot easier. So I don't want to be going into, all the marketing 101 or sales 101, but I'm just going to try and really simplify it, right? And try and make it as relevant as possible for online business, for someone who is starting out in online business and in service, on a service-based business. This may also apply for someone who is in a product-based business, but my focus of work is particularly to help service-based entrepreneurs, right? These are your other service professionals, your coaches, your course creators, anyone who is running a service-based business, your strategists, your consultants, and so forth, right? So we'll start it off on 2 things. The positioning, one allows you to clarify your positioning, and the other one, how your messaging, which is delivering of your value. So both are working towards how you deliver your value to your clients, right? And in this particular case, positioning will be how you best communicate your value, right? So that's why you always hear it's important that you clarify your value proposition, and definitely your method of delivery for your value proposition is very, very important. So what I learned, firstly, let me clarify what makes me qualified to even talk about sales and marketing. My corporate background, I was in sales for the longest of time for financial services industry. And at one point, I actually had to start a division where, I created a product and it was an insurance product, and we sold that product from scratch. We started detailing who the product was actually ideal for, what it was going to benefit, how it was going to benefit them, how it was going to help them, how much it costed, how to even sell it. So I've already gained my stripes in this field. Other than that, marketing online, it's something that I do on a daily basis. What I will definitely highlight today is something that is I would like everybody to really be aware of. Marketing online doesn't mean that you're always marketing on social media, but understanding digital marketing in or as a whole, right? Areas of digital marketing that can really are aligned to your business and to everything else that you're doing. So positioning is very, very important. You and I both know that there's someone that we constantly see. This person is booked to speak on different stages, and you just see them everywhere. So by the time you realize that this person is all over the show, how do they even get to do that? That person is really working on massifying their brand awareness. And that is trying to simplify their marketing, right? Which is all about making sure that your value is clearly defined. People know who you are, right? So that's why you will see that there's someone who's always out there, who's getting all the speaking gigs, who's on each other platform, who's doing a lot more, just because there is that alignment between branding, which is all about brand exposure, brand awareness, and marketing, which is elevating that exposure, and sales, which is really clarifying and that messaging of your position, right? So in this online business, what I learned when I started, there were 3 things that one needed to really work on. At different stages, you want to be one of these 3 things. I'll tell you now. The first one is Me Too, right? There is a movement called the Me Too movement. But in online business, the Me Too is just saying, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I'm a coach, right? So that puts you in a bucket, like it's a blanket, that you're a coach, so is all the other coaches. And the only thing that differentiates you, or the only thing that highlights what exactly is it that you're doing, is that you are just competing at price level when you are in the Me Too stage. Right? We all start there, where your prices must be competing with the other coaches and so forth. But when you're in that stage, that's when the comparison really, really gets to be at play. You see that you're really competing neck on neck, right? With the other people in your industry. You start losing your confidence and so forth. But being in that stage, right, in the Me Too stage, benefits the customer definitely, because what you are doing, what I'm doing, or what you may be doing is actually coming at a very low cost, and it's cheaper. Clients will get it easily, at a cheaper rate, which benefits them. But at the same time, disadvantages you because it doesn't position you to be the leader that you are in your industry, right? And then you find the Me Special, right? That's category number 2. Me Special is just saying, I'm much more now advanced. I'm better than the Me Too movement because I've already established myself. I'm really differentiating myself in various ways, and it's so visible now because of the number of years that I've actually been in the industry or been doing the work. My brand exposure is really out there. So when people hear of my name, they know, oh, there is this thing there is this particular message that this particular person is known for. So there's a book that I like to share always by Mark Schaefer, and it's about the book is called Known, and it's all about understanding yourself and where exactly you want to be. So as you're building your brand and your presence, your online presence, which is your positioning in this particular case, it's you just need to make sure that you are clearly differentiated. If you are not differentiated, you're the same as everybody else. And a commodity in this particular case, it's one of the things that really everybody wants to really identify themselves to be, right? Where you are not competing on price, but in the Me Too and the Me Special, you're still competing at a price or on price level, but in this particular case, you're starting to really differentiate yourself based on your experience and results that you've already accomplished, right? And then where we all want to be is the me only space, the me only. So me only is really where you want to be. That's where you have a competitive advantage over your competitors, right? It's a competitive advantage or an unfair advantage. This is where you know exactly. So for example, let's look, the people that I was just mentioning, that they are everywhere and everybody's following them, and they you just see them all over the place. These are the people that have already clearly defined what they do, who they are, and so forth. Their methods are methods that everybody wants to copy. Right? How do we get to that space? Definitely, you want to monitor, you want to learn and master, their craft. What exactly is it that they're doing that really, really works and gets them massive results? And once you know that, you can replicate it, obviously, using your own language, right? Using your own language, using your own, everything must be soul aligned. It must be aligned to who you are and your business. But if it's really, really working and you see it's something similar, you can replicate it in various areas also. But the me only space is only saying, I have gone through all of these things and I know what works, and I'm teaching other people to do the same so that they become the me only space, right? In this particular case, you are not competing for price. That is the reason what you were saying earlier, that coaches are very, very expensive. I mean, nowadays, if you want to work with an internationally recognized coach or a coach that is top level, they charge a lot of money. But it's because they know what works. They've already tested it, tried it, and they've seen it multiply over time, So, and it's justified why they should be teaching that, because that is intellectual property, even though they had to learn from other people or they have to learn from themselves, they went through the whole thing. Tried, tasted, failed, picked themselves up and so forth. So it's all in those three areas. One of the biggest things that I will also be sharing, it's part of the techniques. I'm not going to try and talk too much about the technical side of things, because I think over the past few weeks I've mentioned, hinted technical issues. We spoke about a lot last week when we touched on launching. So this week I'm going to try and look at share techniques or tactics where you can look at simple things to say, okay, if I don't have a website, then what? If I don't have a sales page, then what? If I don't have a signature offer, then what? But very importantly, this I need to stress out. I will be running a boot camp in the coming month of August also on how to create compelling offers, right? It's going to be a 3-day boot camp. Also, I'll be sharing on my platforms information and where you can sign up for it. It's going to be a paid 3-day session. Obviously, because we can't do long 6-8 hours of training, it's 1.5 hours online, and we'll definitely I'll share the details with you. Please definitely do inbox me or follow me on my platforms. I'll be sharing that, how to create compelling offers, because once you've already designed a product, which we spoke about when we spoke about the 6 areas, 6 pillars of running a successful online business, right? Once you've established what your product is the one that is going to propel you to be in the me only. Your signature program or your signature offer in this particular case clearly identifies that, to say, only I do what I do. Even if there's another coach that is teaching, there is a business coach, they might be teaching you about creating compelling offers, but there's that one magic thing that only I do and they do not do. So having the signature or compelling offer definitely really helps you or highlights you to be the me only, in that me only stage, right? So marketing is purely about that positioning, right? So when I said it helps you to clarify that when if people are still having those questions, what exactly do you do? How do you do it? Who can I speak to that have experienced your programs or the work that you do? Remember last week we mentioned that people only care about what you've done for other people. They don't really care about how massive your how brilliant you may be, unless somebody else talks about it. So that social proof, yes, that social proof is very, very important. And you see that once you've already designed your compelling signature offer, or your methodology, your methods in essence, right? And really, really putting yourself out there, being visible enough, being visible only helps you to build your brand and to grow your audience, right? Which is where you're going to be generating your leads, or how you're going to be building your leads going forward, to whom you are selling to. Look, when we talk about sales, in most cases, I would go back to, creating that buyer persona, or the buyer persona, and then your customer journey, which we touched on last week. So I don't want to go into that today, right? So let's talk about a few things. If we're not talking tech, right? How else can you position yourself? How else can you market yourself? So there's few things that you can do, right? I mean, you can write articles and be featured in magazines. And I think, in as much as we are now talking online, we're not taking away those features, because they are important. They are platforms, they are searchable content that I mentioned last week when we were talking about the different types of content, and those will be found in years to come, right? Those speaking gigs, in most cases, we see people talking and getting opportunities to speak. It could be a referral, it could be a recommendation, but making sure that you get an opportunity to speak on different platforms builds your confidence, builds your brand, and definitely makes sure that your positioning, it becomes much more visible and easier for you to sell, because people have already gained some value from you. And in most cases, I always say give value as much as you can, because the value that you give will make your sales a lot more easier, right? So that can never be, that cannot change. People don't want to be sold. That's what we've already established so far. People want to really be led to take that action. And that's what marketing is all about. You're creating that interest, you're creating that awareness. By the time you get them to a sales call, they already know exactly what is it that you do. They have the confidence and the trust that you can help them solve their problems, because that's what sales is. You helping them to solve their problem and to take action on what exactly is it that you are doing on your offers, right?
Absolutely.
So you and I, Coach, have spoken about affiliate partnerships previously, right? And affiliate partnerships in this particular case, I mean, we still have a few, based on which stage you're in. If you are still in the stage where the Me Too stage, you're still competing for prize, so that affiliate partnership could definitely really change things for you, because you need to partner with someone. But remember, partnering in this particular case, you may be swapping services, so where someone is promoting your business and you are promoting their business at the same time. That is it's a two-way street in that particular case, because look back in the day, you would see an ad. You see the ad from the morning until the evening, one ad. It doesn't matter how many shows you've seen on TV, but there's that one particular advert that you would see. So because, if you are not doing advertising in that particular case online, you definitely need quite a few other people. Hence, there's influencer marketing also that is coming, which is different from affiliate partnership, right? Influencer marketing is on a different level. These people know when to promote, who they're promoting to. They've got an audience already. You can also discuss payments and so forth. Whereas with the affiliate partnerships, you can look at what is the service that I'm providing for my clients, and who else do they need for them to get to their ideal goal, right? For example, I'm a business coach. I work with someone in copywriting, a virtual assistant, someone who's a graphic designer, someone who is a web developer. So if I have those connections, we can easily swap services in terms of who's promoting whose business at what point. And their clients could be my clients are their clients also. And if you look at, industry leaders, in whatever industry, you will see that kind of relationship works always. And it becomes a lot easier because, you know that your clients are circulating amongst yourselves, right?
Coach, would that be, how would you relate that to a sponsorship? I am thinking in terms of a TV program. I don't watch TV that much. I watch programs, but I know that when I used to watch TV for just passing time, channel 161, there is this particular it's a soapy, I guess, because it's on daily, and there is a particular brand that advertises solely on that show, and it's the only brand right now that advertises on that show. So I consider that sponsorship. Are we still talking about the same thing?
No, then that is sponsorship, right? You will see it also on sponsored ads, right? Especially on Facebook. Facebook has ads. Google has ads also. Those are the that would be sponsored. Those would be sponsorships.
Okay.
Now on sponsorships, it's completely different. It's a different relationship where you could sponsor either I would sponsor coaching in this particular case, or I would sponsor whatever item or whatever brand, right? So sponsorships are another relationship, right, of how you can get your business or your products and your services advertised or marketed or positioned rather. Right, so there's various marketplaces in this particular case, right? Hence, I was saying that being featured on magazines, being featured on whatever platforms, having speaking gigs and so forth, right? Sponsorships definitely because that definitely elevates your positioning or your marketing, because then there is already a platform of audience that are related. So in all cases, you need to make sure that you are aligned, right? Whatever sponsorships that you may be getting. I mean, obviously, as you're starting out, there's quite a lot of other things that one does to make sure that their messages get out there. So we were talking about an unfair advantage earlier on. Right. So an unfair advantage over your competitors would be having somebody that gets a sponsorship. I was looking at some amazing work that our former Miss SA is currently doing. She is the beauty queen of the country. She's just recently graduated. She's now launching a book. So she has massive unfair advantage over her competitors. I mean, look, we've had without any comparisons, because they're all brilliant in their own right. We have Zozibini, who was Miss Universe, but then you get Miss South Africa that is like taken 10 leaps over such a short period of time. That is an unfair advantage, if you call it. It's not a bad thing. That's why most people will try and use those platforms to mold their messages so that they are known for something. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I mean, she stepped on the platform, advocating for mental health, and that took her on a different level. She got associated now with various brands that are working on mental health issues, SADC, for example. So that is one area that definitely being able to associate yourself with a brand or being sponsored with a brand by a brand will definitely help you with, So when you think of marketing, think of that, because advertising has taken different shapes and forms. You definitely want to make sure that you are in a better position to really differentiate yourself. So your unique selling proposition or your value proposition is built around all these relationships also, right? Look, if you, back in the days, you bought newspaper ads. Today, print is really taking different shapes. So you can now go post that. I mean, you see the billboards, they're becoming much more interactive, because of the time that has changed. And that's what marketing really works around also. There's underlying issues, the timing thereof and the frequency thereof. So that's why you would always hear, always be promoting, because that's what marketing is about. Always be promoting. Promote. And that's why if you are not a social media frenzy kind of person, you'd be like, okay, I'll do it on my own terms, which is important. I think for sanity, for mental peace, for the purpose of your growth, for your goals. I think I want to highlight that it all works around your goals, your marketing goals or your business goals, right? Then you would see that the frequency of when you're posting, what you're posting needs to be aligned to that. So as I share the marketing strategies that we're going to talk about now, let's definitely look into how else you can bring that frequency in your business, right? Okay, so other areas this will include a bit of tech. It's running challenges, and running challenges will normally be about a 3-day challenge or a 5-day challenge, where you definitely just giving value. You're giving information that is going to help your ideal clients, irrespective of where they may be in the world, or just really making sure, positioning you in a way that everybody else is able to see you, right? It might take a while. When I trained, particularly on sales, I always say that, you can't hear one thing or one message. If you hear it one time, it's not going to stick, right? Same goes with understanding or reading or being able to understand any intellectual property whatsoever, right? For you to have that intake, you definitely need to be able to read it over and over and over because of how our brains are formed, right? You hear something now, we are creatures of repetition, right? We want to hear something 10 times before it actually registered and it becomes very important to us. You hear it the first time, it's just like, oh, very interesting. Second time, it's like, oh, good to know kind of thing. Third time, it's like, okay, let me start paying attention. So that's what marketing really, really helps us with. And that's why the timing is ideally being relevant. It's all about being relevant, right? So there's different marketing tools out there. And yes, it takes time. When something new comes out, you see other people jump on it immediately because they want to really be relevant to their ideal clients. So that relevancy is all dependent on who your ideal client is at the end of the day, right? But the beauty of all these things is that if you know a little bit of everything and you master one thing, then you're still at the top of your game, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you still there, Coach?
I'm here, Coach. I'm listening to you. I'm learning. Marketing online, it can be tricky. I'm just enjoying the background that you are giving, so that one has, that background and context when you go out there to advertise, to market, to promote yourself. I mean, I do coaching myself, but I have not really taken it online as such. So I'm just sitting here absorbing, Coach, everything that you are saying, and I'm thinking quite deep to say, how do I implement this? I'm not big on social media, honestly speaking. I promote every week. I have to promote my show. And it's an expectation from the station that I need to promote my show on a weekly, and I need to do you justice as well, Coach. When you come here, you give your information freely, and we got to give you something back. This is a working relationship that there is expectation.
It's a beautiful partnership.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful partnership. And I think it's a
sorry, Coach, saying
you go ahead.
Both participate and both gaining from this partnership.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, look, I mean, you may not be advertising or posting or promoting anything at this point, right? But there's certain things that really elevates your brand, who you are. And those things will definitely always come to your advantage. They will definitely help you because you've already been exposed to a lot more, right? I mean, your form of building your brand is in such a unique position also. That unfair advantage I was talking about, this is another thing for you also, because you've already tapped onto my client base. You've already tapped on all your other speakers' client base, because they know exactly what is it that you do, how effective your methods and your education, your teachings would be or are, particularly, from what you've done. You've had a session by yourself where you've already, given so much value, right? So look, as I was saying, based on who your client is, it's always going to be easier. The timing of your messaging will always be important at that particular time, because that's what they need to hear or to know at that time, you know. So yeah, look, hence you would see that posting, there's social media marketing companies that are taking care of these other things. So it's not everyone that is doing that. So your content is already out there. I'm definitely aware of it, and your impact is felt. So there's no there's one thing that I also there's something that I want to share with you. I'm also not a very big post kind of person, right? I want to do it when I'm working on a specific strategy. And I've decided to really narrow down my content so that it becomes searchable content. I want to work on building a searchable content, because searchable content, you know, really affords you to become a thought leader in whatever that you are teaching, right? So things like your YouTube, your blogging, or article writing will definitely go a long way, because those are a content that is going to be searchable in years to come. And I think that's what we need to capitalize on. Although when you are still building a brand, you need to show up. You need to be visible wherever you can, you know, wherever possible. If it's not 5 times a day, it's not 5 times a week. It can even be once a week with great impact, you know?
Absolutely, Coach. Yeah. That's why we try, you know, when I had to choose the kind of poster that I wanted, you know, there were many colors, there were many shades, you know, of blue, of what, but I chose something that is quite visible, that you cannot miss. And I know that whatever and whoever I put, you know, as an addition to this poster, it's just going to accentuate, and, you know, it's just going to make this poster beautiful. The beautiful bright colors, you know, something that the eye cannot actually miss. So I'm with you, Coach.
Yeah, and that's your branding. You know, that's your branding already, because the branding is in your language. It's in what makes you happy, what fuels you, you know, what speaks to your soul, what speaks to the psychology that you want the people that get exposed to that poster to see and automatically link to you. You see. All right, so let's talk quickly about marketing strategies so that we can go and start a little bit on sales before we carry on. I did promise that we're going to try and keep it as short as possible. So I'm not sharing too much information on this, you know, just highlighting a few things. So when I was saying that the goals, especially on marketing campaigns, right? We talk about marketing projects, and I think if we are very strategic about, you know, what we do in our business. You would know each quarter you want to be promoting something. That something is something that whatever marketing project that you're working on a quarterly basis, you run for that particular quarter, and then the next quarter you move on to something else. Then for the rest of that quarter, you have something to talk about. It can be something. So if you're promoting one thing, it's going to sound like you are repeating your information and so forth. But you want to try and keep it as much interesting as possible, so that it becomes easier and much more palatable for your ideal customer at the end of the day. So I think having that strategy starts with how can you run effective marketing projects or marketing campaigns on a quarterly basis that can really, really help you. Right. And with marketing, I mean, the bigger thing is that we know there's a lot, right? There's everyone knows about having an engaged website, because we talk about it, and I mean, we make mistakes as we build websites, right? In most cases, we build websites for visibility and for professionalism. But at the end of the day, your website needs to be a tool where you're able to generate leads and to share content. So if you've got a website that is engaging, in most cases you will have a blog on it, or you can link your YouTube channel on it. It has to be engaging. It has to be very interactive in that particular case, that when people go there, they're not clicking that contact us to sell you something, but to inquire about whatever that you may be promoting, and to engage on the content that you are sharing. The second thing is the tech part. Remember, I shared things that you can do with that tech, which is all the relationships, the speaking gigs, once again, the sponsorships, the influencer marketing, the affiliate marketing partnerships, right? Now, more on the tech kind of strategies, it would be your SEOs, your search engine optimizations. This is if you are online, your presence online needs to be able to be at the top of the searches. So if I go and search Boitumelo Tolakai, I need to be able to find you. So good thing is, in most cases, if you've got a professional page, LinkedIn has amazing SEOs. That's why when you search anyone you know, if they have a LinkedIn profile, you will see it. If they've got a Facebook channel, Facebook page, you will see it. But if they've got anything else, a website needs to be part of it. That when you search them, their name and that particular field should show up, right? Platform should show up rather instead of fields. Then you find your content marketing, which we spoke about. And on top of that, there's email marketing. And I think email marketing, we spoke about it last week with various areas. Your email marketing is your list building platform. If you're able to to build your platform where you're able to generate instant leads, this is where the tech is also coming in. Your signature offer is on a landing page, is on a sales page. There's an opt-in page where people just really rush to download everything that you are sharing because of the trust that you build over time with all the content that you've already shared. Social media marketing then comes in as part of your marketing strategy, right? So when we're talking of marketing, it doesn't start with social media. You can choose whichever one you want to focus on. So you find that most people that are focused on building the social media marketing either could choose on having a website or maybe a content or building an email list and so forth. So if you get to a point where you're able to incorporate all of these things that I'm mentioning, then you definitely know that you've got a marketing strategy that can really make your sales very, very easy. And I'm saying that because I know how difficult it is to sell, a service-based business, especially when you don't have all these things in place. It becomes a lot difficult to sell, right? Look, if you've got you have your affiliate marketing partnerships on lockdown, or you've got your sponsorships on lockdown, you're guaranteed that your audience will see exactly what you are doing. Right. But other than that, if you're not capitalizing on those partnerships, on those relationships, you need to find a way where you definitely are taking the lead in your own marketing. There's something that we called pay-per-clicks. These will then go into your analytics, being able to see exactly what your clients really need, what are they engaging with. This is where you have direct feedback in terms of your marketing strategy effectiveness. Any questions there, Coach? Are you still okay there?
I am good. I am good, Coach.
Yeah. Okay. So once again, this ideally the alignment that we always talk about. Back in corporate, you would hear, or you even hear it today. Majority of the companies are always struggling between their marketing and the sales. So it became a big thing that there must be an alignment between sales and marketing, where salespeople are complaining that leads are not highly qualified, and it's statistics may have changed, but it's always been below 10%, where salespeople were very comfortable with the leads generated from the marketing perspective. So that's why it was always this very important that there must be a marketing and a sales alignment, because marketing makes your messaging very, very clear. It really creates your offer, your value proposition. It puts it out there. When you come to sales, it's something that majority of the people dread. But I always say that if you can learn to listen, if you can really master to listen, then you definitely have like one leg up, in your sales process. Obviously, there's other things that makes someone great at selling. Your confidence, your mindset, more than anything, your determination, your resilience, that ability to to handle rejection and understand what rejection really means. Those are more like the softer kind of things that one always needs to understand. But the bigger thing is being a good listener. Why am I saying that? Sales is all about being able to help your client clearly understand their pain point, right? They understand their pain point. They clarify to you what their goals are. You then help them identify the gap. So you're not really doing in as much as we say sales sounds very pushy, you sound very salesy, but it's all in the techniques. I mean, and it's coaching techniques that you and I really love the most, being able to ask very compelling and thought-provoking questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is. Your sales calls in online business would have started way before you even get on a call with someone else. By the time you get to speak to them, either on a virtual call or virtual call essentially, or whatever type of calls you may be using, you would have identified clearly what their problem is. By the time you speak to them, you really go back to the same thing. Most of these questions or these areas are rehearsed, right? Everybody knows, I can't make sales, or I'm not able to grow my businesses because I don't have clients. But what exactly is your pain point? That's a rehearsed solution or answer that you may be giving. But what could be your pain point? And the pain point, you'll find that they're not well positioned, or they don't have a compelling offer, or they don't even know where to begin. It's not that they don't even have clients, but it's a lot more things that are included and involved.
Coach, could be, are you talking to the relevant market,
Exactly. Are you talking to the right person, right? And that's what marketing and branding. Branding really helps you with clarifying who you are, your credibility, your competence, your messaging, your offers. So that's what branding does for you, right? Once you've already branded yourself, this is who I'm speaking to. I know why I'm helping them, what their problems are, what solutions I have. My solution, I'm clarifying my solution because it's based on everything else that they need and want. So it's not just what they want, but it's also what they need, right? So it's all different things, that one needs to be listening out for. That's why it's important to be able to listen very, very important, well, in sales. Their pains, their goals also, they need to be so clear that they know this is what I want to do. I'm not able to sell. I don't have anyone to sell to, or I don't know who I'm selling to, and this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is who I'm actually trying to sell to, and this is the outcome or the results that I want to achieve. But in most cases, we are not selling to the pain points or to the goals. We're selling to a gap. We need to be able to identify the gap, right? And those are the most important questions that you'll find often that we're asking. What will it take for you to actually get from the next level that you want to be in? And in most cases, those rehearsed answers always come up. Something needs to change. I either have to do this or that, and that's where it's important that as a sales, when you're doing your sale, when you're going through your sales process, you're able to clarify that or to help your client identify that. So with sales in this particular case, where marketing is concerned or online business is concerned, also you'll hear quite often about sales funnels, which is how you actually leading your clients from all those 4 stages that are commonly known from your marketing AO1, ADA, or HubSpot. Over the years have changed it to a few letters, which was 3 letters: awareness, consideration, and decision, right? As opposed to interest, desire, and action. Also, so that so I'm not saying it all incorrect, but it's moved and it's elevated. It's been refined over time because there's certain parts that you can comprise in that awareness stage of your branding and your consideration, which is your marketing, and then the decision or the action, which becomes now at that point where they have to be selling. These points that I'm also sharing also can be used as closing techniques. So I know everyone knows that there are closers in all other businesses. But once you know that you're not selling to the pain points, you're not selling to the goals that they want to achieve, but you're actually trying to make sure that you are selling within the gap. Help them identify the gap, because other than that, they would not even know that they need to actually take action to buy whatever product or services that you're offering. Right. So in a nutshell, if I can close it like that, because I know sales can take us the whole day. I love talking about sales because there's various areas. We can talk about the mediums of selling. I've already spoken about those virtual calls. You sell on multiple areas, on webinars. You promote also on different platforms also. So you'll find video techniques are at the moment currently trending. That's where you need to make sure that you understand when you have an opportunity to speak on a video platform, how would you promote yourself? How would you even sell? Right? Sales pages, which is more the creative kind of part. But in essence, you don't need to have even a graphic designing background, but it's about understanding what goes into that sales page. I've already shared in a few sessions on my Facebook group what exactly the difference is. So just to run it through, a homepage is your page that you click on as you go into a website that has like general information and for the to interest a bigger audience, right? It's not targeted, it's not specific. And then you find a landing page, which is a short version of your sales page, right? That one is normally requires low commitment, low investments. That's where you'll find someone, things like a page that says join our mailing list, join our VIP, or download a particular book, right? And opt in or whatever lead magnet. So I didn't talk about lead magnets because it's part of all these things, areas of how you promote. It's that interlink the intertwined relationship of marketing and selling, right? The promotion part of your lead magnet helps you generate leads, which is what marketing should actually be helping you in all cases, right? And then the minute they take that action, you're leading them also to that consideration or the decision stage where you're going to be selling. You're going to start having that conversation about selling your benefits and your products. So I think the bigger part is, in most cases, one of the biggest questions and something that is still out there is when you're marketing yourself, how effectively can you put up your prices, right? And how do you do that? So in most cases, as you are in the different stages, it becomes a lot easier. And there's techniques of how you can even show your prices there. When you show your prices, when you get to speak to your clients at a sales stage, it becomes a lot easier because they know what they're supposed to be paying. They know what is expected of them. But in most cases, what do? We shy away from putting the prices up. Why? Because of competition. Because we are competing in that me too or me special space.
Yeah.
Easy. So, yeah, but it's important for people to know what the programs or the benefits or the price, the price points of whatever service and products will actually require of them, And I think it's one of the things that we normally shy away from. And that's what makes sales very difficult for most people, because they're only talking about price right there and there in the call. So that's why one would feel uncomfortable about it and, not knowing. Whereas if it's already been advertised, someone inquires, if they buy, they buy. If they don't buy, they are fully aware what the commitment is going to be. And I think you see this with industry leaders where they put up their price, you check, you make a decision knowing exactly what is it. But there's a technique, obviously, on how you advertise or you promote that. So yeah, I remember that the bigger thing at the end of the day is the timing, your relevance in terms of what you are marketing and what you are selling. And it all becomes a lot easier if you have a clear, compelling offer and your message is very, very clear. So those are the two things. Your positioning and your messaging becomes very, very important in this particular case. It's all about how you communicate your value and how you deliver the value that you promised.
Coach, thank you so much for your time, for the knowledge. Clearly you are passionate, and I'm sorry to have left you in the driving seat today. I'm really not feeling, okay, but one day things will be different. We will probably get used to the facts and what we have to deal with on a daily. So thank you so much for your passion. Thank you so much for the information, your teachings. What are we talking about next week? Can we get a glimpse of who is coming next week? Who are we talking to next week? What's happening?
So a glimpse of what's happening. As we are wrapping up this series, I really want to give thanks to you and to the platform Zoe Love Radio. The conversation next week, we want to make it as interactive as possible. So we definitely would like to get questions. If we can have questions up front, I'm sure the team is going to be able to get some questions up front. We will take questions in the sessions. So if you have any other questions around what we've already spoken on in the past few weeks, definitely bring them forth next week. And I'm going to be inviting a few of the people that I've worked with that are going to be sharing their experience of working with me, what they've already learned and implemented in their businesses, the outcomes they've seen, or results rather they've seen in their businesses and themselves. Because my signature program is working on your helping you achieve your best in your mindset and in your business. So my mission is to help you serve, sell, and thrive. And next week we're going to have a few people that will be sharing about the process and the experience of working in my programs and working with me also. So those are the few people. They are business owners in their own right, and they're doing very, very well. I'm very proud of them. And I don't know who else is coming on your end, Coach.
Well, it will be our listeners. We'll try to distribute information as much as possible to promote next week's show on our Facebook pages, on our Instagram, LinkedIn. Let's get the images, let's get the posters out as early as possible for next week. And we will have a good time. So we'll be inviting our listeners, our usual listeners. We'll make efforts to invite family and friends and colleagues and every entrepreneur that needs to learn from you, Coach. So we're really going to make an effort. And we also request that our usual listeners would please invite new listeners and let's do this. Let's win. Thank you very much, Coach. In closing, I just want to say that South Africa, we are still on a lockdown, and we are still expected, to wear our masks everywhere we go, sanitize our hands every 5 minutes or so, just to keep yourself sanitized, healthy, steam whenever you come back from the shops, wherever you're coming from, protect the next person that you live with, protect the next person that you are in a taxi with, by wearing your mask, by sanitizing your hands, so that whatever you exchange between your hands, is clean and you do not contract what is coming from the other person. If you know that you have been exposed and you have signs and symptoms of COVID, it could be a cough, it could be flu symptoms, please do protect the next person that you live with, the next person that you are working next to, by wearing your mask and staying at home as well. I went home last week to bury my grandmother and my aunt. It was a painful experience to lose my grandmother on a Wednesday and to lose my aunt on a Friday, same week. It was very painful, but I loved them very much. So coming back from funeral, I had to isolate and stay away from my family here in Joburg for a few days. I stayed away for at least 7 days, just so that I can observe myself if I do have symptoms, if I did come back with something, some contraction, or something, that I could have contracted from there. But thank God, by the grace of God, I'm still perfectly healthy, and I am okay, and I'm steaming every so often, just trying to protect myself, to protect my family. So let us all be responsible, and this is the only way that we are going to be able to curb the numbers and protect one another. And I also want to request that we continue to pray for our country, the leadership of our country, pray for our churches, our leaders everywhere. Let us pray in unity, as a country, as the world. Until we meet again next week, I love you very much, South Africa. And Coach Sheila, thank you so much. And please give my love to the babies. It's their time now. Let's give them their time.
Definitely. Thank you, Coach. Take care of yourself also. And to South Africa also, let's keep hope alive and let's stay safe. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Coach.
Bye, Coach.